Ghana is known as the land of gold, not just for what lies under your soil.
The sun was scorching over Accra as the red carpet rolled out. Cameras flashed, drums thundered, and banners lined the streets. This wasn't just another state ceremony. It was history in motion. Standing side by side, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Ghana's President Nana Akufo-Addo cut the ribbon on a project that could change West Africa forever: the Royal Ghana Gold Refinery. A $300 million investment, not from Europe, not from China, but from India. To the crowd, it looked like a celebration of trade. But behind the golden smiles and handshakes was something much bigger. This wasn't just about gold. It was about power, influence, and a battle for the future of Africa's resources. And here's the twist: India isn't just chasing profit. It's building something more strategic, something that could reshape the balance of global partnerships. So why Ghana? Why now? And what exactly is India after in 2025? To answer that, we have to dig beneath the headlines into gold, railways, vaccines, even defense. And what we'll find is a story of ambition, opportunity, and a silent rivalry unfolding in Africa's heart. But before we get to the rivalry, we need to understand what makes Ghana so special in the first place. Ghana is not called the Gold Coast for nothing. For centuries, empires fought for control of its shimmering resources. Today, gold still dominates the economy, making Ghana Africa's top producer. But that's not the whole story. Beneath its red earth also lie critical minerals like lithium, manganese, and bauxite, the raw materials of the future. And here's where India comes in. The new Royal Ghana Gold Refinery isn't just about refining gold for jewelry. It's about controlling the value chain. Instead of Ghana exporting raw ore, India helps it refine, package, and sell at higher margins. The refinery is expected to process 400 tons of gold annually, positioning Ghana as a global hub. But it's not just gold. Lithium, essential for electric car batteries, has become the new oil. Ghana recently passed new mining laws, making it easier for investors to obtain licenses while also demanding higher community investments. India, hungry to fuel its booming EV industry, sees Ghana as the perfect partner. Now here's the kicker. While China has been racing to lock down African lithium, India is quietly playing the long game. Rather than just buying minerals, it's helping Ghana build infrastructure to process them. That means jobs for Ghanaians and steady supply chains for India. And if you think this is just about mining, think again, because the real play comes in how these minerals travel. And that takes us to railways and ports. On the surface, trains might not sound as glamorous as gold, but ask any economist, and they'll tell you, railways are the veins of a modern economy. In Ghana, India is bankrolling the Timon-Pakaden railway line, linking the Atlantic port city of Tema to Ghana's hinterland. This line isn't just about moving goods. It's about connecting Ghana to landlocked neighbors like Burkina Faso, opening new corridors of trade. Think about it. Gold and lithium mined deep inland can now reach ports faster, cheaper, and safer. Farmers can send cocoa to global markets. And India, by financing and building the system, positions itself as the partner behind Ghana's modernization. But infrastructure goes beyond steel tracks. India has poured millions into the Kofi Annan Center of Excellence in ICT, training thousands of young Ghanaians in tech skills. It's also working on bringing its digital payment systems like UPI to Ghana, which could transform how businesses and ordinary people move money. Why does this matter? Because every train track, every data center, every digital transaction takes Ghana a little closer to India's orbit. And yet, railways and digital apps are only part of the story. If you want to understand the deepest trust between two nations, you have to look at something far more personal: healthcare. In 2025, Ghana isn't just fighting for economic growth, it's fighting for health security. The pandemic taught African nations a brutal lesson. They couldn't rely on outside powers for vaccines or medicines. That is why India's move to help Ghana build a vaccine production hub is such a big deal. India, often called the pharmacy of the world, already produces 60% of global vaccines. By transferring some of that know-how to Ghana, it's not just selling drugs, it's giving Ghana the ability to make its own. This means fewer shortages, lower costs, and less dependence on Western pharmaceutical giants. Indian companies are also flooding Ghana with affordable generic medicines, from malaria treatments to cancer drugs. And while this boosts India's pharma exports, it also builds deep goodwill among Ghanaians who now see India not just as a business partner, but as a lifesaver. Here's where it gets even more strategic. Healthcare isn't just about medicine, it's about influence. A child vaccinated with Indian-made doses grows up in a system where India's presence is normalized. Hospitals built with Indian loans, doctors trained in Indian universities, pharmaceutical imports that save lives. This creates a bond no infrastructure project can match. But health is only one part of national security, to understand the next layer of this partnership, we need to look at something more sensitive: defense. Ghana is often called the gateway to West Africa. It's one of the most stable democracies in the region, a safe harbor in a neighborhood shaken by coups and insurgencies. And that makes it valuable not just to its neighbors, but to partners like India. In recent years, Ghana has faced rising threats from extremist groups creeping down from the Sahel. India has quietly stepped in, offering defense training, military equipment, and cooperation in counter-terrorism. Joint exercises, officer exchanges, and even naval visits have been part of this low-key but steady security partnership. But here's the part that doesn't make headlines. By partnering with Ghana, India gets a strategic anchor in West Africa, right on the Atlantic coast. This isn't about setting up military bases like other powers. Instead, it's about building trust and readiness so that, if instability spreads, India has reliable allies. And it's not just about security. Ghana is a founding member of ECOWAS, the West African bloc. That means if India secures Ghana's friendship, it indirectly gains a stronger voice in a 15-nation market of over 400 million people. But security and diplomacy alone don't explain why investors are suddenly pouring into Ghana. To see the full picture, we need to follow the money. Not long ago, Ghana was drowning in debt. Inflation was high, the currency was sinking, and its credit rating was slipping. But in 2025, the tide turned. Fitch upgraded Ghana's rating, bringing it closer to investment grade. The government restructured debt, stabilized the cedi, and introduced new mining reforms. Suddenly, Ghana wasn't just a country rich in resources, it was a safe place to do business, and investors noticed. Indian companies rushed in, not just in mining, but in telecom, banking, and agribusiness. This shift is crucial. India doesn't want to just trade with Ghana. It wants to embed its companies inside Ghana's economy, from banks that handle remittances to telcos that connect millions. That way, when Ghana grows, Indian firms grow with it. But the real secret of India's success in Ghana isn't just money or infrastructure. It's something more human: the ties that bind people together across continents. Walk through Accra, and you'll find Indian-owned shops, restaurants, and small businesses. Thousands of Indians live and work in Ghana, and many Ghanaians have studied or trained in India through scholarships and exchange programs. This isn't just economics, it's culture, community, and soft power. India has also provided lines of credit for projects that Ghanaians actually ask for, from rural electrification to water systems. This demand-driven approach feels different from some Western or Chinese projects, which critics say can be top-down. The Indian diaspora helps bridge the gap too. Bollywood movies are popular, yoga studios exist in Accra, and Indian cultural festivals draw crowds. Over time, this creates a sense of familiarity, a feeling that India is not a distant giant, but a friendly partner. And here's the subtle genius. When people like you, deals are easier, partnerships last longer, and influence grows without force. But where does all this lead? What's India's endgame in Ghana? That's where we arrive at the bigger picture. India's massive investment in Ghana in 2025 isn't just about gold, trains, or vaccines. It's about partnership with purpose. Ghana wants to rise as a modern hub for West Africa. India wants secure resources, new markets, and allies in an increasingly multipolar world. Together, they meet in the middle. Unlike powers that come with heavy debt or military bases, India positions itself as a collaborator, building refineries, hospitals, railways, and human capital. Ghana, in turn, gains not just money, but skills, trust, and options. In the end, this isn't just a story of India investing in Ghana, It's the story of two nations reshaping what South-South cooperation can look like. It's about a new model of partnership, not charity, not exploitation, but empowerment. And if this model succeeds, the ripple effects won't stop at Ghana's borders. They could redefine Africa's future and India's place in the world.